Pilates today. Thanks for joining me. If you've never done Pilates before, do what you can. Join in, adapt to your body, and take care of any injuries or parts of your bodies that might be a little bit sore or not used to movement. Okay, let's start standing tall on our floor or mat. Bring our arms forward. Inhale, open our chest. Exhale, bring our arms forward. Keep going like this, inhaling as you're opening and expanding the lungs. Exhale as you come forward. And then while we're doing that, we're going to think about drawing up our pelvic floor, so lifting up our pelvic floor and drawing in the transverse abdominis, the band that runs from our lower back around about level with our hip height, deep in our abdomen to the front of the body, so it circles right around. Draw that in gently inwards and upwards as though we're just tightening our lower belly slightly. We don't want to jam it in there because we can't maintain it, so draw it in, draw our hip bones up. So when I say draw in your T-zone, I'm saying draw up your pelvic floor, which is the vertical of the T, and draw in your transverse abdominis, your deepest abdominal muscle. Okay, bringing the arms down by your side, rolling our shoulders up and backwards. It's easier to bring the elbows out and draw circles with the elbows. Do that. Really rotating those shoulders right up near your ears and then back and around. And then reverse the direction, so forward. And release. Starting straight away at the back of your mat, we're going to into some roll down. So standing tall first, then we're going to commence a roll down. Head first, we're going to go up and over a mountain. So head first, chin to chest, then the shoulders, rotate forward, belly's pulled in, T-zone on, and rolling as though we're going over a big beach ball. And then slowly stacking up. Last thing to come up is our shoulders and then our head. Again, breathe in, prepare. Push through all four corners of the mat with your feet, so pushing the base of the big toe as well as the outside of the foot into the mat. We tend to roll out a little bit onto our feet, some of us, so push down through the mound under the big toe. We'll do 4 more roll downs. If your legs aren't super straight, you could have slightly bent knees if you're tight in your lower back or your backs of your leg muscles, your hamstrings. You may not be able to straighten the legs fully as you roll over, so have a bend in them as much as is needed. And then over time, with practice, you'll gradually lengthen through those hamstrings. Always good for the lower back. As we stretch our hamstrings, it's all connected. We stretch through our lower back muscles. They reduce back pain over time. On our next roll down, we're going to stay with our head hanging. So make your way over. Place your hands into the crease of your elbows and then just let your upper body act like a weight, head hanging, dangling down towards the mat to lengthen through the back of our head, neck, shoulders, the length of our spine. Again, if you need a small bend in the knees. Just swinging the hips gently from side to side, swaying the hips side to side, keeping the head still. Bringing the hips back to centre, and sway the arms and head from side to side, a slightly different feeling. And come back to stillness, relax the hands to the floor, bend the knees enough to reach the floor, walk forward, your choice, a plank from the toes, or you can drop the knees and uncurl the toes. So your choice, whatever plank you can manage. And then we're going to touch an alternate hand to our opposite shoulder. So, right hand to left shoulder and down, left hand to right shoulder. Try not to sway the body too much. Again, you can come down on the knees and do the same thing. Keep the T-zone tucked in. Try and keep the shoulders above the wrists. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Lower yourself slowly to the floor. You can drop the knees first. Elbows coming in beside the rib cage as you come down. Right down onto our tummies. From here, just pulling my hats down, I'm going to take my hands down beside my hips. It'll be too far down my mat now, so bring our heels together, our toes come apart, and then on our next inhale we're going to leave our head and chest on the floor but raise our heels in the air with straight legs. So my knees ideally are attempting to come off the floor, so my upper thighs are touching, and then I'm going to beat my heels out and in. Shoulders are down my back, so I'm reaching my fingers towards my knees. Nice, fast, firm beats with straight legs. Feeling my butt squeeze. Lifting my T-zone, so pelvic floor in. Pelvic floor in, lower belly lifting up towards my spine. And then we're going to release the legs down for a lovely rest for about 10 seconds. Our next move is coming up into our plank again, either with straight arms from our toes or again from our knees with straight arms. So find our plank. And then we're going to go into the chaturanga pose. So we're actually going to drop down halfway. Elbows along the sides of our rib cage and try and hold there for a couple of breaths. And one more. And then lower all the way down to the mat. Good job. Okay. Our next exercise, take your hands down by your feet. Your legs are straight on the floor. Your chest is on the floor, as is your forehead. I've just got my head turned towards the camera. Then we're just raising our arms off the mat with our palms up and beating them up and down like we do in hundreds. So I'll just turn my head down. So it's purely a movement coming from our shoulders as we beat those arms up and down. Still lifting our T-zone, pulling it in. So a very still, strong body with just these arms beating. Make sure your shoulders are pulling away from your ears. Your fingertips are as far away from your shoulders as they possibly can be. And then relax the hands down. Our next exercise is very similar to that, except this time we are going to have our palms facing down. Same action with our arms. Feet remain on the floor, but if we can, we're going to lift our head and chest, keeping our gaze down towards the mat. So first of all, hands are on the floor beside us. Inhale, raise our chest and our head. Raise our hands, palms down, and beat the arms up and down. T-zone switched on, and some nice big deep breaths. 3 more deep breaths. The beats feel a little bit out of control here, so strong arms. Should be feeling it in the backs of our upper arms, our triceps. And then relax down. Okay, we're going to make our way over onto our bottoms with our feet extended in front of us, so coming to a sitting position. Legs straight. If that's too uncomfortable with your legs straight, bring them up into a bent position. But what we're going to do is do some rollbacks where we're going to roll back, but not all the way to the floor with our torso. So arms just resting on your knees and they'll slide back with us. So sitting as tall as you can, and then we're curling and scooping our lower belly, T-zone pulled in, and just rolling back to where we can. No shoulders up around our ears, keep them down our back. And then roll up, scooping up again, coming upright. Nice straight back. Again, exhale, roll back. Inhale, back here in position. Exhale, scoop up. 4 more of those in your own time, with your own breath. So an inhale to prepare before we make each movement. Engage those thighs, that'll keep your legs and your torso very controlled. So scooping that belly in, remember we don't want any bulging abdomens. We're pulling it back in, scooping it towards our spine. On our next one, we're going to roll back, so we will do so, roll back and stay there. This time, if you can, see if you can take your arms up towards the ceiling, back towards the knees. Up towards the ceiling, back towards the knees. 2 more. Up, back, up, back, and roll up. Ooh, felt that one. Good job. All right, we will take ourselves all the way down to the mat this time. So engage these leg muscles, squeeze the inner thighs together as though they're kissing each other. Sit tall. This time rolling slowly, painting our spine from the bottom to the top down onto the mat. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, scooping that belly. T-zone in, shoulders down our back. Ribs and hips coming together. And then releasing slowly down onto the ground. Okay, we're going to set straight up into our hundreds. So with our hundreds, it's the same arm movements as we use when we're prone or on our belly. So the arms are pumping. We can just pump our hands with our head down and our knees bent, or we can bring our head and shoulders up, knees bent, or we can switch on that T-zone, bring our knees into tabletop, or extend our knees straight legs. So let's go, find your starting position. Make sure if you've got your feet off the ground that you're pulling your T-zone in, you're imprinting or slightly taking that lower arch in your back towards the mat. We have 10 full breaths here. We have 10 beats of our arms, so 100. If your head starts to get sore, you can rest it in one hand or lower it back down to the floor. Otherwise, looking between your thighs, chin towards your chest, belly scooped. Three more breaths. Bring our knees in towards our chest, drop our head down. You can have a little rock from side to side. And then we're going into some oblique tummy abdominal curls. Again, your choice, feet on the floor or in tabletop. You engage your lower belly muscles, bringing those legs up into tabletop. Hands by our ears. Inhale, raise our head and chest. Exhale, left rib to right hip. Back to center. Right rib to left hip. Squeezing out our belly like it's a sponge. Squeezing out the soap suds. Squeezing out the fat cells. Aha. Okay, so alternating side to side. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Three more each side. Twist, center. Twist, center. Twist, center. Twist, center. And relax the head down, feet to floor. Windmill the knees from side to side. And then we're going into our roll-ups, very, very similar to our roll-downs. So straight legs, engage the thigh muscles, lift the kneecaps towards you. Butt cheeks gently drawing together. Inhale, the arms up over our head without letting our rib cage pop up. So keep our ribs sliding down towards our hips. Exhale, bring the arms forward, raise the chin, raise the shoulder blades. If that's as far as you can go, that's fine. Or if you can, scoop your belly enough to come all the way with control to sitting. And then inhale, prepare, exhale, scoop back like our rollbacks, but we're going all the way down. So there's no point using momentum, throwing our arms forward and throwing ourselves up, because we are automatically pushing out our pelvic floor doing that. So you're better off staying with small crunches, ribs to hips, belly in and back. Ribs to hips, belly in. Shoulder blades coming up. If that's where you are at, that's much better for you than coming all the way out, popping out the belly as you come up, popping out the pelvic floor, damaging our pelvic floor. Let's do 3 more. And then coming back down onto our backs, ready for pendulum. So pendulum, we have our one knee at a time coming up into tabletop. So bring a knee up, switch on that lower belly muscles and bring the other leg up. Hands can come out as in a T shape. Knees and ankles squeeze together and do not come apart. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, take the knees over to one side. Getting a twist in with our torso, then bring them back to center as you inhale. Exhale out to the other side. So it doesn't matter how far out to the side you go. You might only go a couple of inches, feeling the work happening in this belly. Or you might go out right out to a 45 and getting quite a lower back twist. Again, we don't want our ribs popping in the air. We want to keep them flat as though they're sliding down towards our hip bones. Let's go one more each side. Come back to centre and lower the legs gently down to the floor. Okay, bringing our hands back down to our hips, resting them gently facing up so that we aren't tempted to push through our hands. Walk our heels in as close to our butt as we can. Keep our heels and knees hip width apart. And then we're going to draw our lower back towards the floor so that pubic bone goes to the roof. Push up through the legs and come up into a bridge. You might stay here in the bridge as the one option. The other option is extend one leg out in line with the other knee. You can stay still like this, or you can start to circle that leg, that straight leg. No pressure on the neck, all on the shoulders, and no looking from side to side. Keep that neck as though it's in a neck brace, looking after it. Reverse the circle. If you need to come out of the bridge before I tell you, feel free to. Otherwise, keep circling. And then bring that foot back down next to the other. We'll go down, so lower the back down to the floor from the top of the spine to the bottom. And then straighten up the pelvis so that we've got that natural arch under our back. Take a big deep breath in, tilt the pelvis again, lower back to the floor, push up into our bridge again. Take the other leg out straight if that's your option, and circle if that's what you were doing on the other side. Try to keep the hips level and still. Reverse your circle. Bring that foot back down to the ground. Take a breath to prepare. And then as you exhale, pull in, scoop that belly and lay them back down onto the mat. Very good. Extending the legs, rolling up to a sitting position if you can. Otherwise, just make your way up into a sitting position. And tummy muscles may be starting to get a little fatigued, or a lot. Okay. We're going to bend our knees, join our feet and our knees together. Sit up with a straight back. You might find you're leaning back a little bit, that's fine. Bring one leg up into tabletop and then bring the other leg up into tabletop. Knees and ankles joined into a seated boat. Now, your choice here, whether you would like to try and straighten one leg, keeping the other in tabletop and keeping your seated position. You might find that you roll back. Just be careful of your neck if you do roll back. Keep your chin tucked. Bring that leg down. Try and straighten the other leg. Still trying to keep our T-zone switched on. And down. Let's go each side again. So the first side, try to straighten. And down. And straighten that last leg. And down. Bring those heels in near your bottom. toes off the ground if you can. This might be where you stay, just curled up like a little ball, nose tucked between your knees, just trying to maintain that seated position. Or you may inhale, keep the chin tucked into the nose, exhale, roll back for rolling like a ball, inhale without too much momentum, come back to starting position. So really feeling the tummy muscles doing this rolling and bringing you up and putting the brakes on where you started. So we stay curled up to protect our neck. We don't want to flop our head backwards and hurt our neck. If you get a bit stuck back there, just roll back and forth and try and get a little bit of momentum to bring yourself up. A laugh doesn't hurt. And on your next roll back, stay just back and stay down on your back. So a little roll, stay down there. Rest the head down and just hug the knees into the chest. Tend to take myself off the mat a little bit doing that. Okay, coming back ready for a bridge again. Bring those heels in as close to the bottom, under the knees as you can. This time again, you can just come up into the bridge with both feet on the ground, or you can try taking one leg straight in the air, other foot on the ground for a single leg bridge. So I'm going to push my hip up in the air, keeping that foot pointing towards the ceiling, and lower down, and push up, and lower down. 4 more of these. So really working that base leg. And that's 4, I think. Swap sides. Otherwise, just go up in your double leg bridge. Up, down. Two more. And release. Okie doke. Let's go into some Caesar kicks. So let's take your left leg pointing towards the roof. Grab behind that left thigh, behind the knee or the thigh. And then start to straighten your right leg out along the mat. Excuse me, your choice whether your head remains down on the mat, or you could curl the chin towards the chest and raise the shoulder blades off the mat. Then I'm going to pull my top leg in for 2 pulses and then swap it. Bring my right leg in for 2 pulses. I'm going to keep my legs as straight as possible. And pull that leg into my chest as far as I can. So scissor kicks, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, bringing both legs up in the air. You can rest your head down if you want to, or place your hands behind your head and rest your head in your hands and keep your shoulder blades up. I'm actually going to take mine down to the mat. Both legs pointing to the air. Now I'm going to lower one leg towards the floor and bring it back up again. So right leg towards the floor, left leg pointing to the ceiling. Take it as far as you can and then draw it up. Now this is really working your T-zone, abdominal muscles. So you might only take it out to where you feel that you're controlling those abdominal muscles. So it might not go all the way to the floor, it might only go 1/3 of the way. So just slowly alternating the legs. Let's bring them both up towards the roof and then hug them in towards our chest. Have a rock from side to side. We're going to put one foot on the floor with a bent knee, other leg pointing towards the ceiling, and then I'm after some slow leg circles. So we're not whizzing this leg around as fast as we can. We'll slowly take the right leg down the middle, slowly up and around. Concentrating, T-zone on, ribs sliding, flattening down towards the hip bones, shoulder blades down our back, pressing into the mat. And then focusing that all movements coming from that right hip. The rest of our body remains as still as we can possibly make it. Reverse our direction. Your circle may only be small. It doesn't matter how big, it's more about the control of the rest of the body. And take that leg down into a bent knee position. Have a small rest, and then we'll attempt the other side. Okay, other leg towards the roof, circle down and around. Reverse. That foot down. Okay, soles of our feet together, knees fall out to the side in a butterfly shape, arms down near our hips, and then we're going to lift our hips off the ground. So push our soles of our feet together, engage our T-zone, and lift the hips, and lower, and lift, and lower. Three more. And release. Okay, we're going to make our way onto our side. So laying, just rolling onto our side, extending our lower arm up under our head. Bending our knees in front of us, and our ankles are in line with our hips and shoulders, so we're in a straight line along the body with our knees forward. Lifting our feet in the air, gluing our 2 feet together. Lengthen both sides of the waist, so make the sides of the waist long by taking that top hip away, and then we're just opening our knees for the clam. Top arm could be in front for some support. T-zone switched on, belly pulled in. If you're okay with the control in the torso, you could take your top arm up to the sky, just to add a little bit of instability, that you then use your tummy muscles to work a little bit harder. Okay, on our next kick, our next clam, we're going to open our knee and kick up. Toes together, close the knee. Open, kick, toe down. You might want to bring that hand, top arm down. again in front of you. And down. Rest the feet down, so we now still have our knees bent in front of our body, ankles in line with our hips. This time we're going to lift the top ankle in the air, so our knees remain together, our top ankle's in the air. Then we're going to drop our top ankle to our feet and open our knees. Knee to knee, feet to feet. Knee to knee, internal rotation of that leg, external rotation of that top leg. Don't forget we're still engaging our tummy muscles. And foot to foot, and then close the knees down. Give the butt a good clap for doing that work. Okay, if you can't get up onto your knee, your next exercise, you can have the bottom leg bent, and as we lift the top leg, we're going to reach overhead and then lower the leg, bring the arm back to the hip. So that's it if you cannot get up onto a knee. If you can get up onto a knee, come up onto your right knee, lean onto your left straight arm. As you lift your left leg in the air, straight leg, you're reaching overhead. And then arm back to hip. So same action, just that you can choose to come up on the bottom knee rather than laying on your side. So trying to keep nice and secure and strong through the torso. It's really only the leg lift happening and the arm reach. The body should be staying relatively still. Okay, just have a moment's rest. You can come down for a moment. That's a moment. So coming back up onto the knee or staying down on your side if you haven't come onto the knee. This time we are reaching our arm overhead and kicking forward with our, lifting our top leg up and then kicking forward and reaching. So you can do this up on the knee. So getting a bend, drawing in the belly here, scooping. As I kick forward and reach with my hand. Keep going if you're on the knee, otherwise if you're on the ground. I think it's harder laying on my side, I can't quite reach that leg. 2 more. Oh, and relax. Good job. Alright, we have one more on this side here. We're just going to bring our top leg, bend the knee and place the foot on the ground with the toes pointing away from our head. And then this bottom leg sits in front of it. Try and keep the hips stacked upright, but that top knee pointing towards the ceiling. And then we're just lifting that lower leg in a straight line as high as we can, working this inner thigh. The bottom leg inner thigh. So lift it as high as you can and lower. And relax that leg down. And spin around onto our other side for our clam on the other side. So making a straight line with our body and our ankles, knees bent in front, and lengthen through the waist, stack the hips, pull in the T-zone ankles up in the air and open and shut that clam. If you'd like to take the top arm in the air for a little bit more of a challenge. And then on your next clam, we can kick and then close. Let's bring that top arm down, take our ankles down to the ground, leave our knees joined together, lift our top foot and then open the knees, close the feet. Close the knees, open the feet. Bring the knees together and let the feet come down to the side. Okay, again you can choose to stay down on the side of your body, arm overhead as you lift your top leg and then lower the top leg, bring the arm to the hips. Or coming up onto the side knee, straight arm, lift the leg, reach overhead, lower the leg, reach to the hip. Relax down, you can have a short rest before we do our kicks forward. So again, up on the knee or lying to the side, arm overhead, lift the leg, reach forward and back. Kick forward, reach. Or lying down. Last one, and back and relax. Okay, last side exercise, bending our top leg, knee to the roof, foot with the toes pointing away from us, lifting and lowering that bottom leg as high as you can. Relax down. Good job. We're going back now onto our seat. So coming up onto your bottom, legs are straight, hands are behind us, fingers pointing towards our bottom or maybe out to the side if that's more comfortable for your wrists. Now this is quite a challenging front plank I'm about to do. I'll show you the front plank with our straight legs, so it's a matter of just lifting our butt up and making a straight line from our chin to our toes, making sure those hands are under our shoulders. You may choose to have bent legs, feet apart, and lift into a tabletop like so. So let's go into whatever front plank you wish. And we'll hold here for 15 seconds if we can. Shaking's great, shaking's normal. Ooh, I should have said 10. We're a third of the way. 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring yourself down. Great job. Oh, hard on the wrist for some people, that one, me. All right, we're just going to sit with one leg bent behind us and one leg in front, if we can. If you can't and you need to have both legs just in front, that doesn't matter. We're doing a side stretch, so it doesn't really matter what's happening with your legs. Leaning on my left arm, I'm going to reach up and over, stretching through my right side of my body. Okay, and then I'm going to stretch the other side. So this time I'm going to be stretching towards my back leg. Doesn't matter as long as you're stretching both sides, if you've got your legs one behind, one forward. And down. Swing the legs around. Or if you've just got your legs out in front of you, just stretch one side and the other, then the other again. And then other side. And arm down. Let's just go onto our knees if you can. If you can't go onto your knees, we're just going to get you to curl forward, sit up straight, arms behind, arch back. Curl forward, sit up straight, arch back. If you're on your knees, we're going to do the cat-cow stretch. So arching our back up, tucking our tummy up towards the spine, arching through the shoulders, and then dropping the belly, looking forward, getting the bend the other way. Arch up, through the back, belly drops. And one more each way. And then whatever position you are in, we're going to push up into our downward dog. So we're going to be on our hands and our feet with our bottoms in the air, thighs drawing backwards away from us, taking our heels towards the mat. You might still find that you've got bent legs, you can't fully straighten them, but that's okay as long as you're feeling the stretch in the back of the legs. Coming up onto your tippy toes and then taking those heels down towards the floor. Up onto the tippy toes, heels to the floor. 2 more. Okay, slowly, big handprints, hands back towards your feet. Grabbing your calves or your feet, pulling the crown of the head towards the mat. Knees bent or straight, whatever's comfortable for you. You feel the stretch in the back of the legs. Bend the knees, place your right hand on the mat, Take your left hand behind your back and open up towards the left. So getting a twist in the body. Keep the ribs connected towards the thighs. Come back to face the floor. Left hand on the floor, right arm behind the back. Open up. Back to center, and then slowly roll yourself up, one vertebra at a time. Grab your hands behind your back, pull them down and draw your shoulder blades together. So squeezing your shoulder blades together and pulling the hands down towards the floor. Big chest opener. Let's finish as we started, rolling our shoulders back and round, down and forward. Bring our hands in front of our chest. Inhale, open up. Exhale, close, curve the back. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Let's take one arm up, one arm down, and then cross forward in front of us. So just a slow arms forward and up. And then bring both hands down by your side. 3 big breaths together to finish off. Let's swing our arms out to the side above our head, stretch tall. As we inhale, exhale, out to the side. Inhale, up. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed your watching and doing. Give us a thumbs up if you watched. Send a message if you've enjoyed. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Yoga tomorrow live at 4 p.m. Good. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.